the B team. It's not the C team. It's maybe the E or the F team. Maybe it's the Z team.
Just another day here in Canada. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today's top stories here. We've got Justin Trudeau sending out more of his new ministers. Now we've got Nate Erskine-Smith. This is Justin Trudeau's new housing minister, speaking to the cameras. Unlike Trudeau, who's still sucking his thumb under his desk, they ask him some pretty good questions because this is a guy who didn't want to run again, yet he was given a promotion to be minister. We've also got a really interesting video here that breaks down Justin Trudeau's spending of our money on EV projects and how catastrophically bad this has gone. Among a bunch of other stuff, let's jump into this. We got the new housing minister, Nate Erskine-Smith here.
You said that you weren't seeking re-election in the upcoming election, and you seem to have put some thoughts before accepting this new job. Why did you accept the job, and are you running in the next election?
I had decided about a year ago, I guess, that I wasn't going to run. After conversations with my family, I got 2 young kids. It's actually my soon-to-be 5-year-old's birthday party later today, and this morning at 5 a.m. I was stuffing a creeper pinata with candy. So it's been a day, but it was a tough leadership race last year, and that balance wasn't right. That balance between sacrifice, but also that ability to make a difference, and is the sacrifice justified by virtue of the difference that you're able to make? And that balance wasn't there, and an opportunity came along where you can make an even bigger difference. Sean's a good friend, and he's done important work on housing. Housing, to me, is, outside of Canada-U.S. relations, the most important file for, I see millions of Canadians who are rightly angry about housing, where they see their parents are better off than they are, even though they're working just as hard and have a job that's just as good. I see, you look around, every one of our communities is affected by homelessness and encampments, and that's a consequence of housing. You look at productivity, and people want to talk about productivity in this country, and we should, and people are leaving my city, my province, and our country because they can't afford to live here. And so look, I understand there's going to be a short runway. I'm not blind to that, but if I can make a small difference, if I can make a big difference, I want to make the biggest difference that I can. That's why I joined politics in the first place, left law for politics. And so, it wasn't an easy decision by any means. And yeah, I consulted colleagues. I consulted my wife more than anything. And I plan to run the next election in order to protect the progress and really in the short term make the biggest difference that I can.
So what I see here is a guy who's going to get a pay bump for a couple months, however long Trudeau lasts here, or the Liberals last, shall I say. I think he more just wants to go out saying he actually made it to the top. He made it to be a minister before he retired. I think that's what this is here. If we look at his riding, he's one of the few that will likely keep his riding. Who knows? But I think he just likes going out saying that he actually made it to be minister. That's really what this is. It's an ego thing. Now, what's really interesting with his cabinet shuffle, listen to this here. So they bring on Corey here. This clip is just of Corey, the Conservative pundit.
Corey, as you saw that cabinet shuffle or the swearing-in ceremony unfold, what stood out to you? What
a bunch of nobodies and never wases that got elevated into cabinet. Like, I think what's happening in caucus right now is wrapped up in one of the memes that's been floating around. Do I go out with an overwrought plea for the Prime Minister to step down, or do I take what will be a very brief stint in cabinet that I've been waiting for years to be acknowledged? I think there are going to be people who are upset at, a couple of the names there, in particular, Nate Erskine-Smith, who has voted against the government several times, an act that, normally precludes you from joining cabinet, and has also said that he doesn't plan to run in the next election. Many rumors that David McGuinty won't run in the next election. Lots of rumors that that's a potential seat where Mark Carney would run in. So, you have some people who have very questionable grounds to be in cabinet. Normally, if you're not running again, you're removed from cabinet to make way for somebody with a longer-term commitment to the party and to the government. So I think it's not the B team, it's not the C team. It's maybe the E or the F team. Maybe it's the Z team. I don't know, but it's we're getting down to scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
This is very interesting. So did Trudeau intentionally bring in the worst to help tank the Liberal Party, knowing that he is going out the door? Maybe he's got some weird rapport with these people. Maybe he wants people who are not going to stick around, so it makes it easier for carbon tax Carney to come in, and he delusionally thinks he can still win. That seems more likely. So looking at the comments here, Minister Shuffle, like turning your underwear around and calling it fresh. That's a perfect analysis, scraping the bottom of the barrel. Next up, we got an interesting clip here on the state of Canada with EVs and all of Justin Trudeau's investment of our tax dollars into EVs and where it has gone, or where it hasn't gone, shall we say.
Look, Canada represents maybe 10% of the production capacity of our current vehicle manufacturing. The other 90% goes to the United States. And guess what? Long before Trump made a decision on tariffs, he says he's getting rid of EV mandates. So there won't be 30, 50, 100% by 2035. It'll be zero.
So without an EV mandate, most people who would not buy an EV are not going to do it at all.
We backed the wrong horse. We put all our eggs in one basket. We put $52 billion of federal, provincial monies committed towards building batteries, assembly plants, EV assembly plants, for which there will no longer be a market, at least in the foreseeable future.
So, I mean, but you're not saying that there's not going to be electric vehicles at all. You're saying that it's going to grow sort of organically without the government saying, you have to buy this?
No, the public doesn't want them. Sales for automotive is not strong to begin with since COVID, but it's pretty clear that there's an even less demand now. Most recent reports suggest, dropping from 15, 18% down to about 10 to 12%. So,
but we've spent, as you say, over $50 billion.
Correct.
On these plants and batteries, and it's going nowhere.
And we're walking away from them. Not only some of these battery companies, like you mentioned Northvolt, gone bankrupt. Ford has pulled out of Bécancour. Stellantis has said no further, investments in the Windsor plant. We see that the Chrysler Stellantis plant up in Brampton isn't moving. We see that Ford in Oakville has said, yeah, we're going to build something there. It'll be the F-250. It's not going to be an electric vehicle because we're losing 136,000 Canadian dollars on every EV model that we've got so far. So look, when this makes economic sense, I'm sure it will. And when consumers catch up, it will. Until then, we've backed the wrong horse. And of course, as my old friend Jean Chrétien would have said many years ago as my boss, we did not look before we leapt.
Government should stay out of business. Dan McDade, thanks very much. 3 minutes.
It's crazy, yeah. Trudeau backed the wrong horse. He put all our money in, it's just crazy. He put so much money into something that's not even proven. It's not a proven market that's going to work in Canada that people want. I mean, why wouldn't you just dip your toes in it, not throw billions at it? Because Trudeau's an idiot, that's why. In other words, the Liberals bought into Guilbeault's line of bullcrap with our money. Yes, government should stay out of business. The best-selling car in the world is an EV. It's the Tesla Model Y. There isn't a market for bad EVs from Legacy Auto who are making compliance cars. Good EVs are better in every metric to combustion vehicles. So interesting. I mean, really there needs to be proper head-to-head comparisons with range, with temperatures, cold temperatures, hot temperatures, all of that. Throw in Tesla Model Y and whatever the most popular ones we have in Canada here, pickup trucks, people doing jobs. They can't have their vehicle run out of power and have to be sitting there for 40 minutes charging it. But of course, we see no research like this coming from the Trudeau Liberals, Guilbeault. There's none of that. They just throw our money in there without doing any research into this, but then they'll spend our money on gender and climate policies in Uganda or Democratic Republic of Congo. If anything, they should have backed a Tesla factory in Canada, not all these other ones that aren't proven. What you're about to see here is terrible. A guy catches some guys dumping a bunch of trash in the woods here. It's clear these guys are probably straight from India. There needs to be better education from the government, people coming from India here, to let them know that that cultural norm that is common and accepted or maybe not accepted over there is not acceptable here.
Hey, you can clean up your mess. You can't dump that there. Yeah, pick it up right now. Let's go. Pick it up, put it back in your truck. You don't litter here.
We're gonna litter. Can you tell me?
You can't litter here.
Okay, so sorry, we can just take it, okay?
Yeah, put it in the truck. I'm gonna watch you.
Okay.
You don't litter here. I'll phone the police. That's a $2,000 fine.
Okay, sorry, you stop here. We can just go here, okay?
Yeah, load it up. Let's go.
Okay.
This is not how we do it. You take it to the dump. It costs like $10.
Can you tell me where is the dump yard?
Gold Bar. Gold Bar landfills where you can go. So, yeah, let's load it up.
Okay, I can load it.
No more littering around here.
Okay, bro, okay.
People walk down here with their families.
Okay, bro. Okay. Okay, check over there. मैं दादा किथे गए ना? कहता मैं दादा किथे गए ना? फोन पे ना खींची यार. You stop here, bro. We can just pull it, load it, okay?
Yeah, you load it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're hoping he leaves, but he's not going to leave.
You stop here. You park here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy. We can't have this in our country. Our beautiful wilderness is going to go downhill very quickly. Good on him. I mean, we got a photo here. Like, it's just so common there. Like, this cannot be acceptable in our country. We don't want it to look like this.
My question is regarding the housing problem. CHMC has said that Canada needs 5.8 million houses to restore the housing affordability. Liberals say that they have that already in the budget to be focused on the housing and the fairness for the Canadians, which you disagree. Why do you disagree, and what's your plan?
Okay, I don't disagree. The math disagrees. They've promised they're going to build, so they promised they're going to double home building. Their own housing agency said since they made that promise, home building has gone down, and that it will go down next year and the year after that. Look at my exchange with Trudeau in the House of Commons last week. To get to 3.9 million, forget 5.9 million, to get to 3.9 million new homes by the scheduled deadline of 2031 that Trudeau promised, he needs to build 550,000 homes a year. I asked him 6 times in the House of Commons, are we going to build 550,000 homes this year? He wouldn't answer. Well, the truth is he's on track right now to building about 200,000 homes, not even half of what he's promised. It's not a matter of me disagreeing. It's a mathematical fact. He's not delivering. It's a mathematical fact that 9 years ago when I was housing minister, the average rent for a one-bedroom was $973. Now it's $2,000. Right? These are the facts. So has he spent a lot of money on housing programs? Yes. He spent $89 billion on housing affordability, and the result is that housing costs have doubled.
$89 billion. Think of what could be done with that instead of just wasting on programs that don't do anything.
Problem is, he's putting the money into bureaucracy. Government bureaucrats don't build homes. Private sector builders do. Government bureaucrats are in the way. So we need to get the government bureaucracy out of the way and deliver fast, affordable permits to build the homes. 1/3 of the cost of every newly built home in Ontario is government permits and taxes. 1/3. That's more than we spend on the labor to build the home. So we're spending more on the bureaucrats who don't build anything than we do on the carpenters, framers, plumbers, and electricians who build. Isn't that insane? Like when you buy a house, do you not find it incredible? You have this beautiful house, and you say, well, where did the money, I'm buying the house for, now it's, say it's $1 million. What does the $1 million go to? You know, you break it down, lumber, materials. You think more money goes to people sitting in government offices than goes to the people swinging the hammers, fitting the pipes, framing the lumber. It doesn't make sense. We need to cut the bureaucracy, and that's why my common sense plan will require cities free up land, speed up permits, cut development charges and fees as a condition of getting federal funds. If they don't hit my targets, they won't get their money, and there'll be less of those bureaucrats in those corner offices. So if they beat the target, they'll get more money. We're going to pay our municipalities the way we pay realtors and builders for the number of homes. Thank you.
There's just such common sense there. That's how it should be. Bureaucracy, especially with AI today, should be almost nil. It should be done by an AI program. You don't have even people looking at these permits or whatever. It's just calculated, scanned by AI, and then verify, yep, you got your permit. It just sends it over. Like there's not spending, oh, here, $100,000 to get a permit. For what? Some guy sitting in office picking his butt? Post WW2, we went on a massive building spree across Canada and put lots of those cute little 2 and 3 bedroom box houses by the block all over the country. Many of those houses still stand today. It's possible to fix the problem. Yeah, those wartime measures houses, the catalog ones from Sears, those ones are still standing too. Have you noticed too? We still haven't heard anything about those wartime measure houses. So next up, we have more of this. There's only one solution stuff. This is in Toronto, downtown here. Yeah, okay. The mayor is useless. Olivia Chow must be laughing at the Jewish community. Remember, she has union and Muslim support. There you have it. Justin Trudeau has gone all in on these EV projects, and they've all become massive failures. There's not even one big win in there. They're all failures. That is on brand with Justin Trudeau being a failure himself. When can we get back to some common sense here in Canada?